Hello there, dear viewer. It's time to talk about Deaf Crocodile, one of my favourite boutique Blu-ray labels. And in this video, I'm going to be looking at their releases from this year, 2025, so far. And they have brought some fantastic releases to the market. As always with them, I didn't know anything about these films before they announced them. So a lot of discoveries for me, and I'm sure some discoveries for you as well, because if you know all of these films already before they announced them, then you are a next level cinephile with some extensive knowledge. All of the releases I'm going to talk about in this video are available on Diabolic DVD. They ship internationally, plus you can get the special edition versions, which I have here, or they do a standard edition version as well. So whichever version you want to go to, you can get them from Diabolic DVD. Let's begin things with the Cathedral of New Emotions, a German animated movie released in 2006 from filmmaker Helmut Herbst. Now I'm going to try and describe this movie as best as I can, but this is quite out there. It's experimental, psychedelic, so don't just go off my description, have a look at trailers or clips online, because it has to be seen to be believed. And I was going to say understood. I don't know if this is a film you understand, it's just a film that you feel. It's a science fiction film where we follow this group of people who are traveling in space, not in a spaceship, but in this storage container which is being held by this giant hand. And within this container there are stoners, intellectuals, and there's a lot of content that is sometimes sexual and just all around trippy and psychedelic. Although I can't really tell you what this film is about, all I can tell you is that I did enjoy my time with it. And in particular, I really liked the animation style and the use of the Comic Sans font as well. This film is certainly obscure, and it is exactly the kind of thing that I'm used to from Deaf Crocodile, because they have introduced me to so many great works of animation in their previous releases, and this continues that trend. Luckily, if you finish one of these films and you don't quite know what to make of it, there are always great special features on Deaf Crocodile's discs, usually including commentaries, video essays, and often there are interviews with the filmmakers or people surrounding the film. So let me show you what you get in this collector's edition version. Deaf Crocodile started producing these rigid hard cases for their collector's editions last year, and I have been loving them. They look great on the shelf, and I have a whole load of them in the back here, and they're just great display pieces as well. I have a few of these stands which I'm going to put around the place, and these are great contenders for films that I would like to have on display. Inside there is this book which has 2 essays on the film, and there are notes on the restoration in the back of these booklets, and there are some images here which kind of give you an idea of what the animation looks like in this film. And then you get the film in the Scanavo case like this. I really liked the audio commentary on this one. It was a great listen, and there are some other things that look at the filmmaker and some of his past work as well. So the Cathedral of New Emotions was an eye-opening, trippy experience and an all-around great release. Continuing with the animated releases, we have Gwen and the Book of Sand. This is from 1985, made by French filmmaker Jean-François Laguini. This is another science fiction film of sorts, set in this desert post-apocalyptic world where we follow this young girl called Gwen. One of her friends gets kidnapped, and it's up to her to go on this journey to get him back. It's a very simple story, but this is a film where you come for the visuals and the atmosphere, because this film completely sucked me in straight from the start, and I was there, I was right in that world from the get-go. Even though I hadn't seen this film before, it took me right back to childhood, because this style of animation reminded me of the books I would read when I was a young child, or maybe even some of the animation I'd seen as a young boy. So this was like a nostalgia trip, but I'd never seen this before. So a very weird feeling, which honestly I loved. The animation style I would call minimal, because it isn't completely fluid. It obviously isn't like modern films made today, but that's not to its detriment. This is very much a stylistic choice as far as I know. I don't think it's due to limitations or anything like that. Regardless, it completely works. and I absolutely loved it. I forgot to say that this is one of Death Crocodile's 4K releases, so the 4K disc really helps this look beautiful. The colours and everything is just so crystal clear, and again, it just aided the experience, really helped with the immersion, bringing me into this desert world. This is what the collector's edition rigid hard case looks like. And then we have the book, which inside here there is a piece from the filmmaker themselves, and there are 2 essays on the film and the notes on the restoration. And just so you have an idea, this is what the art style of the film looks like. Obviously it looks incredible in motion. This is just a still image. And then you have the case itself, and the special features, again, a great audio commentary on here, this one from Sam Deegan, which was a great listen as well. You get the 4K disc and the Blu-ray in here, and I forgot to mention before, typically with Death Crocodile releases, the Blu-rays are region locked to region A. So you will need a multi-region player if you're buying from outside of the United States. So that's Gwen in the Book of Sand, a really brilliant animated film, which I just got completely immersed in. Then we come to a non-animated release from Death Crocodile. 2 films here. We have Signals, A Space Adventure, and In the Dust of the Stars. These are 2 German science fiction space opera films which were made during the 1970s, which are now having renewed interest thanks to this new release from Death Crocodile. And these were films I had never seen before, never heard of. I wasn't even too familiar with the DEFA, which was the state-owned film studio which created these films and many others, which I'm very excited to watch more, having watched these 2. Both of these films feel like they are indebted some way to the American science fiction of the 1960s. So things like 2001: A Space Odyssey and Star Trek, the original series, because you see in these films some great model work for the spaceships and things like that. And then you also have the great costumes, which are very colourful, and there is an element of camp here. It feels quite campy at times in these films, very much reminding me of Planet of the Vampires from Mario Bava, which is a film I love, which recently got a Blu-ray release. Now, I don't think these films will shoot into being the best science fiction films you've ever seen, nor is it the best science fiction storytelling, but for a unique perspective on science fiction from Germany at that particular time in history, these are, well, unique is the word I used, and they are that. You won't quite get this kind of film from anywhere else. So I'm very happy to have seen these and have this in my collection. One of the things I should mention before I show you what's in the box and talk about the features is that there are some issues on the discs here, particularly with In the Dust of the Stars. There are some glitching issues, and there are some subtitles which are like cut off at the end of sentences. And Death Crocodile have already said that they are doing a disc replacement service for these. So if you already have this, I think replacement discs will be on the way, so I look forward to those. But if you haven't bought this, maybe you want to hold off for the new discs to be in place before you get it. I don't know when that will be exactly, but you could always ask Death Crocodile yourself if you want more info on that. In the collector's edition, you get a book, as always, with some great writings on the films, and this is an example of the kind of costumes that are in here, very colourful with the yellow and the red. And then you got the case with the 2 Blu-ray discs in here. I really like the artwork from Beth Morris on here. Really is evocative of the films and the time in which they were made. Of the bonus features, I really enjoyed the video essay from Evan Chester talking about Gottfried Kolditz, the director of the 2 films. So fascinating stuff, and really rounds out a release of 2 great films. So fantastic stuff, really rounds out the release of 2 great films. And I think once that audio glitching issue and the subtitle issue is sorted, this will be a fantastic release. Now we go back to animation from Death Crocodile. We have I Married a Strange Person from Bill Plimpton. Bill Plimpton is a filmmaker who Death Crocodile have released one of his films before, and I think they're doing another one very soon. But this is the first one I have seen. I haven't seen any of the filmmaker's other works. And I mean, this is eye-opening, unique stuff. It's well worth saying from the get-go that this is definitely animation not for children, because this animation is so sexually charged, and just how insane and crazy the style is here. This is not for the mind of a young child. I mean, the film starts off with these two birds that are flying in the sky, and then they start having sex as they're flying. But there is moaning involved, and it's like an erotic bird scene. The story here is about a man who's just gotten married, and then he starts getting these superpowers that when he thinks of something, it comes true. But the government and the military want to capture him so that they can use this power for their own gain. And yeah, it's just completely bonkers. Again, another of these animated films that is really very hard for me to describe to you in any meaningful way. You literally have to see this to believe it. But I had a great time with it. I couldn't predict where it was going to go next, especially after that opening sequence with the birds. It's just crazy. And I really like the style of it as well, that Bill Plympton has this very unique style. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like it's been coloured in with crayons. I know that's probably doing a disservice to his animated work. But yeah, the film looks like this, but in motion. As always, we get this collector's edition, which looks like this, with great artwork to display. Inside the book, there are some great writings, and there's even some introductions from Patton Oswalt, who did one of the voices in Bill Plympton's short, which is included on this disc, and one from Chris Miller of Phil Lord and Chris Miller fame, who talks about his experience with Bill Plympton. Yeah, just to give you an idea of what you might see in this film, this kind of sums it up. This is what the Blu-ray case looks like, and as I mentioned, you get some of Bill Plympton's short films on here, including the one that is narrated by Patton Oswalt. And there is a great conversation between Dennis Bartok from Deaf Crocodile and the man himself, Bill Plympton. So another eye-opening experience for me. I really loved it. And now I need to see more Bill Plympton. I need to go back and watch the other film that Deaf Crocodile released and look out for the new one as well. And then we come to this one, Freckled Max and the Spooks, from Slovakian filmmaker Juraj Jakubisko. This is one that, honestly, I really wanted to like this much more than I eventually did. All of the elements here seem like something I would enjoy, because this is about monsters. It's about, Frankenstein, Dracula style monsters. It is very colourful, it is gothic, it is whimsical, and it's all about this young boy who runs away to this castle and he ends up meeting all of these monsters. But it's actually very human. It humanises these monsters because they are lonely and seeking connection. So there is sadness in these characters as well. There are individual scenes here which I really do love and enjoy and really won me over. The issue is those scenes are so short and fleeting because this film is actually an edited down version of a much longer episodic television series. So within this feature film, you're essentially getting the highlights of that series, which now I really want to watch that series in full. I don't even know if I can. I don't know where that's available. I think the pacing here and the editing where it just cuts to something completely different and you feel like there is something missing here really does mess with the flow of the film and really does bring you out of the experience. That's not to say that you can't enjoy it. I certainly did enjoy, lots of bits in this film. But as a whole, it just doesn't feel cohesive. And I think that makes sense because this film is not the original vision of this story. Now, whether that much longer television story works, I don't know because I've not seen it. But unfortunately, the film here doesn't quite bring it all together for me in a meaningful way. Thankfully, as we are used to with a Deaf Crocodile release, there are great special features with some of the filmmakers here. There is an extra going into the director's work as well. And there is a brand new audio commentary with Sam Deegan, which I greatly enjoyed listening to. The box has great artwork though. It looks like this all the way around. Inside the booklet, there are two great pieces in here, which I greatly enjoyed reading with some images from the film as well. And then this is the Blu-ray case with the film inside on the Blu-ray. So Freckled Max and the Spooks, certainly not my favourite film released by Deaf Crocodile, but you can't win them all. And also, I still had fun with this, so it's not like it was completely a lost experience. So it's one I would recommend to people, but obviously that caveat that, it's a film made from a much longer series and that might be a bit of a sticking point for you. But Who knows? So that was just a quick look at Deaf Crocodile's recent output in 2025. These collector's editions are brilliant as well. They look great on the shelf. If you're a collector that likes that kind of thing, then Deaf Crocodile is definitely a label to get into. Hopefully you can take at least one of these films as a recommendation for something to explore for yourself, because if you do, then my job here is done. Again, if you want to get any of these releases, you can get them on Diabolic DVD because they distribute these discs for Deaf Crocodile. So you're getting them direct from the source. If you liked this video, do let me know, because I'll do some more discussions about Deaf Crocodile, going back into some of the releases I have on my shelf from their catalogue, because they're doing great things and it gets me excited every time I watch one of these releases from them. I get so excited about cinema again, because it just shows me that, you know, sometimes I fool myself into thinking I've seen a lot of films and I've seen most of what's out there. But in reality, I know that is just absolutely not the case. So yeah, great stuff, and it's always a joy to watch one of these brand new discs from Deaf Crocodile. Click the video on the screen right now if you'd like some more reviews and recommendations from me. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.